And you don't even have to buy this new Biden book. There's no reason why you got to give any sort of royalties to Jake Tapper or whoever's co-author is here, because you already knew what was in the book. You knew what was in it before they wrote it. This is not an expose for you. This is a confirmation of your pre-existing observations that you were called terrible names for daring to say or believe. And the real question is, was the media duped by the Biden White House when it came to his mental faculties? Or were they active participants? Because it looks quite easily like they were active participants, and this book is a CYA. Cover your A. And for Jake Tapper to come to and tell you with a straight face, can you believe the media was lying to you about Joe Biden's mental ability? Stop it. That's like Bill Cosby saying Puff Daddy parties too hard. You're doing it too. You were one of the worst ones. And I have some audio because in the Audiotron 3000, it is just a glorious gold mine of sound bites of people who were saying horrible things to other people criticizing Biden's mental abilities. And since Jake Tapper is one of the co-authors on the book, let me play you a soundbite that you probably have heard other media people bring up, but I also have one that I hadn't heard anyone else bring up. It's going to be, I don't know if it's an exclusive because I don't listen to everyone's show, but I don't think you've heard the other one before. First, let's address the first one here. The one that's been passed around in the last 24, 48 hours the most comes from a segment Jake Tapper did on a CNN show with Lara Trump. Lara Trump is Eric's wife. And so in her criticism, she was brought on CNN, and CNN's narrative at the time was, no, he's not losing his mind. He doesn't have any kind of cognitive decline. He just has always had a stutter. Yeah, that's the ticket. We didn't say that about him in the 80s or the 90s or the aughts or the teens, but now in 2020, remember, this is before he got elected the first time. This was in October of 2020. So to act like y'all just found out in the last year is crazy because we've been saying this for more than 5 years. I'm going to back it up, though, a little bit and play 30 seconds before what the other shows are playing. I heard Vince play this. I think I heard this on the morning show. I heard it on Greg Gutfeld last night. But I'm going to back it up because before he has the confrontation with Lara Trump, they bring on a clip of a little kid stuttering, like a minor child stuttering. They couldn't get an adult stuttering. This is clearly an emotional ploy to manipulate the audience into thinking Lara Trump's just an evil person making fun of people with stutters. So here's the whole thing in context.
I want to ask you a couple things about things that you've done on the campaign trail. Joe Biden, as we all know, has worked to overcome a stutter. And one of the speakers at the Democratic convention was a young...
As we all know, no one knew that. No one said that. His entire career until what, 2020? Oh, yeah, as you all know. No, we don't all know. This is new information that you're just pretending like has always existed. So an amazingly dishonest start, but here we go.
Young boy who the vice president inspired named Braden Harrington. Take a listen.
It was really amazing to hear that someone like me became vice president.
Braden Harrington, a very brave young boy. You made this comment earlier in the campaign about Joe Biden. Let's take a listen to that.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
you are
to
no
watch somebody on stage
this is so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnoose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father-in-law from afar. I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say...
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked about a cognitive decline.
that Joe Biden
I have one last question for you, Laura. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay,
that is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel sorry for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure it was from a place of concern.
And he cuts her off.
Laura Trump, thank you so much.
He cuts her off. He doesn't even give her 2 minutes. She's supposed to have the whole segment. He just goes into something else because someone dared to bring it up and not relent and not jump onto this whole new stuttering narrative. So there's just some beautiful evidence that for the last 5 years, Team Red Media has been telling you the truth about Joe Biden having mashed potato for brains. Team Red Media's got it right. Team Blue Media was covering for him. Team Blue Media, even if they didn't see it, they had other people telling them that there was a cognitive decline. So don't act like this just is something, wow, I found out about this months ago. No, you called them cheap fakes. It was not a stutter. It was not a cheap fake. Columnists were writing stories about it. Radio hosts were making bits about it. Comedians were writing jokes about it. People were making T-shirts, making fun of it. TV hosts were running montages of Biden's highlights on an almost daily basis. We all knew, you knew, Jake Tapper, this whole book is a big fat gaslight to cover your butt. And this is not about the Democrats. This isn't even about Joe Biden. This scandal is about the media. This scandal is about people like Jake Tapper, who saw the same cognitive decline the rest of us saw and actively tried to cover it up. They're acting like they were duped. And that's the question. Do you think they were just duped about Biden's mental decline? You think, oh, well, the White House really pulled one over on us this time. No. My contention is they were active participants. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Now, coming up next is going to be the gold nugget of the show here that you haven't heard on anyone else's show. I went back in the Audiotron 3000 the day of the debate last summer that sunk Biden's campaign. There was a narrow window between the end of the debate and the time when all of Team Blue media and Democrat elected officials decided that Biden's going to be thrown off the bus. What did Jake Tapper say in that narrow window after the debate before the narrative change that Biden has to leave? You'll hear that next on The James Show. News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
President Trump wants to give every newborn in the USA a cool $1,000, but what's behind the giveaway? We'll hear from a financial expert. We'll explain. That's at 6:47.
And we're going to hear from WBAP entertainment reporter Jay Betzel. The famous Jay joins us live at 8:17 with his master list of all the fun things to do around DFW this weekend.
I'm Ernie Brown.
And I'm Carla Marion.
Monty Cook has your news headlines at the top and bottom of each hour. Julie DeHardy has your traffic, and Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your weather on the ones, and Hal J has the laughs.
Tomorrow morning, 5 till 9, only on the WBAP Morning News on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Well, hello, Texas homeowners. Have you gone to BlueRibbonDFW.com and checked out some of the reviews? Well, I know you probably haven't, so I did it for you. James Parker here for Blue Ribbon Roofing. If you have any doubt about your roof after all these storms, after all your roof has been through, if it's more than a few years old, there's no downside into getting the inspection because it's absolutely free. And check out this. This is a review from just a couple weeks ago from Jackie, 5 stars. It says, Blue Ribbon Roofing are rock stars with the insurance claim process. My roof had been turned down until we called Blue Ribbon. See? They turned a loss into a win. You don't do this all day, every day. You're not supposed to be an expert in roofing and dealing with insurance claims when it comes to roofs. You have your own job. You have your own expertise. You have your own career. You have your own family. You have your own skills to take care of your things. Blue Ribbon Skills is taking care of that roof on top of your house. Another thing you'll learn about the team at Blue Ribbon Roofing, if you go to BlueRibbonDFW.com, is there's a picture. There's a lot of pictures on there, but one of them has John, the owner, founder of Blue Ribbon Roofing, in a white belt. And I have to admit, I'm a white belt guy too. Not all the time. And I know some people think, oh, I could never pull off a white belt. John does. I do. And it's not my fault. It looks so damn good on me. But if you want your roof to look so damn good on your house, call Blue Ribbon Roofing. Maybe you need a new roof. Maybe you just don't like the color. It's up to you. Go to blueribbondfw.com, and if you get a new roof, mention you heard it on the James Show. You get a free ridge vent ventilation upgrade, something you need anyway. You don't even have to haggle for it. It's going to be on the house if you mention the James Show. So homeowners, go to blueribbondfw.com. This new Biden book is pretty bad, and it begs the question, was the media really duped by the White House about Biden's mental decline, or were they active participants? 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Oh, I have some more damning audio coming up from Jake Tapper right after Joe Biden waddled off the stage last June in his last presidential debate of his life. We'll do it after we talk to Bobby and McKinney. Hey, Bobby, you're on WBAP. What do you think?
Hey, James. Oh, come on. They were absolutely a part of the whole hiding of the truth of exactly what Biden's mental state is. This is not something that happens over a month or a week. This kind of decline happens over a lengthy period of time. The journalism has become politicized, and they were regurgitating the Democrat agenda, and part of that was hiding his decline. And this book, even though I haven't read it, now I can't wait to read it, because this is a total, like you said, CYA.
Well, I think you're right, but you're only going halfway there. Like, not only were they in on it, everybody. Like, I have examples of like YouTubers and bloggers and people with their little third tier network shows who were echoing Jake Tapper and celebrating the fact that he cut off Lara Trump because, you know, she just sitting there lying to the face. Like, here's a guy, you've never heard of him, Brian Tyler Cohen. He's a lefty blogger who has a huge following, defending that interview we just played.
What always shocks me is just how dumb the Trump campaign thinks that people are. Here we have Lara Trump saying with a straight face that she never knew that Joe Biden has a stutter. Everyone knows that Joe Biden has a stutter.
No one knew.
Literal children know that Joe Biden has a stutter.
No, they
and
don't.
We're supposed to believe that a high-level Republican operative and a family member of the candidate running against him for president of the United States never found out? Got it. But as if feigning ignorance about his stuff.
Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of examples of that. I don't have to play them all. But remember, and I want the people who are out there who are like, I'm not really a Republican or a Democrat, or you can't put me in a box. Well, which side just lied to your face about something we all saw clear as day in videos? They were called cheap fakes. They were called lies. They covered up for it. Who just lied to you for the last 5 years, and who was telling you the truth? And shouldn't we be rewarded for getting it right on such an important issue, Bobby?
No, you're never going to get rewarded. That's never going to happen. The only thing we can do is stand tall, knowing that we said the truth the whole time. And I'll go, even though my word doesn't mean anything, I've never seen Biden stutter once. Okay, total mental decline. Okay, and that's just the way it is. But journalism, they were all in it. They went all in. They got caught because everything that was told, from Hunter's laptop all the way through, everything was proven in time. This is going to be proven that Biden had mental decline going on for a couple of years, maybe even before that, and now it just came to the culmination.
You're totally right. Again, anybody disagree? I don't like doing, oh, no, you're right. No, you're right. No, you're right. I mean, that's fun, but I would like to hear someone who's like, well, I just found out this week that he was a little slow. No one's buying that. But here's the gold star audio, and thank you very much, Bobby and McKinney, that I was talking about. Right after Joe Biden finished the debate, which ended his campaign, CNN went straight to Jake Tapper and Dana Bash at a desk, and they were going to give just the first thoughts off the top of their head about what they saw in the debate. Now, in hindsight, he's trying to tell you when this happened, when this went down, we all were like shocked. We couldn't believe how bad it went. And we all agreed that he wasn't the candidate and we had been duped. No, until y'all conferred with each other and agreed that the narrative was Biden has to be removed, you were still defending him even after what we saw in the debate. This was immediately after they walked off the stage. There was some clapping. There was some music. They turned everything down. And Jake Tapper's first reaction, and Dana Bash too, was how bad Trump did. Listen to this. That
was the worst debate I have ever seen. In fact, it wasn't even a debate. It was a disgrace. Primarily because of President Trump lying, maliciously attacking the son of the vice president.
You just took the words out of my mouth. You used some high-minded language. I'm just going to say it like it is. That was a show.
Oh, is that what y'all saw? Because one day later, you're joining the chorus that he has to step down. You lying punks. You were lying the whole time. We'll never get you to admit it. But when I told Bobby we should be rewarded, I don't expect Jake Tapper to apologize or resign from his position or step down or say you were right and I was wrong. That's not what I want. My reward is having these people who are on the fence about which side is telling the truth more than the other. We should get moral credit for that, and they should be on our side after this. We should be more trustworthy in the eyes of the audience because they just got caught lying to you about another thing, not just COVID, not just Hunter's laptop. Biden's mental decline. Last 5 years, we have documented evidence for it. We were right. They were wrong. You were right. They were wrong. All right, if you want to be after David in Bedford, 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. The countdown is on. Get $30 concert tickets to Dierks Bentley, Simple Minds, Slightly Stupid, Kesha, and more. They're not all playing at the same time. It's a sale that they're having. $30 ticket to summer. Head to livenation.com/ticket to summer. You got that? livenation.com/ticket to summer is your secret website to get cheap tickets on a bunch of great concerts starting on May 21st. livenation.com/ticket to summer. All right, coming up next, a couple more calls on the Biden book, and then we'll talk about if it's okay for Trump to get a new airplane from Qatar. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. Good chuckle out of this new Jake Tapper book, where the media is trying to rewrite history, claiming we were duped by the Biden White House. They hid his decline. We had no idea. Well, everyone else had an idea. You're the only ones who didn't see it. It's not believable. But you were called horrible names. People who brought it up, they had their interviews cut off. They had all kinds of criticism of them. Even at the time, we have so many of these little clips we can go back and play. Let me give you another good one here. One of the stories from the book that Jake Tapper brings up is there was the event with George Clooney and Obama, and Biden went out there and he froze, and there were people making a lot of noise, and he just got a blank face and was looking around, and it kind of looked like he just did a hard reset on his computer, and Obama grabs his elbow. Kind of, come on, let's go, buddy. Ushers him off the stage and leads him off the stage. Now, you were told at the time that was a cheap fake. Remember that term? Cheap fake? Turns out it wasn't cheap nor fake. It was very valuable information that was real. That day, Jimmy Kimmel, in a air quotes comedy show, called that a lie. Jimmy Kimmel, apologies.
There's a clip of Joe Biden going around today, and they say he froze and had to be escorted off stage.
He did.
On Saturday night. I was standing right next to him when it happened. He didn't freeze. He was just listening to the people calling him in the front row. But the right-wing media, while working very hard to claim Biden's out of it, somehow seem to completely miss moments like this.
Oh, God, that feels so good. Doesn't that feel just like, I see trees, right? What's it feel like to be this wrong, Jimmy Kimmel? What's it like to go out there? I was standing right there, and that's not what happened. Yes, it was. And we all know, anyone who really pays attention and who really wants to follow up and get the truth knows that you're a hack now. You're so dishonest. Your clips don't stand the test of time. 800-288-9227. This is David in Bedford. What do you think?
Oh, hey, James. It's just more and more truth that the media is fake news. There's no doubt about it. It's giving President Trump more and more weapons and video and anything that they've done horrible with the borders being wide open. Everything. How the Democrats can think they can ever win the midterms? It's not going to happen with all this evidence, all this stuff of who they are.
Well, is it getting through to the other side? Because if you're watching MSNBC, they're not going over all this. They're not playing you the clips that I just played you. They still have that narrative going where they're all worried about the South Africans coming over and how, I don't know, do they even have like an MS-13 equivalent from white South Africans?
we've got to remember we do have now the alternate media, which is working very well, like yourself and others, and along with the other, all the above. But the thing is, what I want to find out, nobody's brought this up, is what did Biden sign, or who was signing for Biden with his auto pen? What measures were being done? That has to be illegal. If anything was pushed under his signature without him knowing any idea what he was signing, and people were pushing him, that has to be illegal. It cannot be.
You're absolutely right. So if we can establish that there was significant cognitive decline, you're absolutely right. That brings into question, did he even know what the auto pen was signing? If they ran it through, is there any evidence that he was briefed on all these? Is there any evidence that he approved of it? Is there any video of him like nodding or something? Or did whoever was this puppet master just go draft whatever they want and do the auto pen without him even knowing what was going on?
Right. I'll tell you what, James, I do believe President Trump is great about setting a big trap. He's done it before. And this is a big noose. And now they're all beginning to admit, well, maybe he was that way. They fooled us. The Democrats fooled us. They're all falling into that trap. And once they admit that they knew he was that way, then here's all the legislation he signed when you knew he was that way.
That does bring it all to question, doesn't it? And if that's the case, then Hunter Biden's pardon doesn't count. Anthony Fauci's pardon doesn't count. And if we can actually go down that road, it'll be another just what I never thought we would get this level of accountability. I never thought it would go this good. This is amazing, David.
We're on our way.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Let's stay with the phones here. 800-288-9227. Joe in Grapevine, you're on WBAP. What do you think, Joe?
Hey, James. With Trump getting the plane, I definitely think that it would be permissible, for one thing. James, nobody said anything from 2003 until now that the military base in Qatar, which is the largest military base in the Middle East, they have given them billions of dollars. And there was no objection to that. And also, another thing I just recently found out, this plane is 40 years old. This is considered a national security. Not only does it transport the president, but the press, legislative officials, representatives, senators, congressmen, dignitaries, occasionally.
Bro,
I mean, it is so important. It's a national security issue. And
You're bringing up what a lot of us are thinking. How hard is it to get a plane? All these people at Dallas Love Field and DFW and the Addison Airport, they can all get planes. So it takes us 5 years to get a plane. And Qatar's, they're not buying a plane for Trump. They already have just an extra plane that they've decommissioned that used to be the one that their head of state flew around in. They're like, hey, we've got this extra plane just sitting around. You want it? And apparently their throwaway use plane is more modern and advanced than our current fleet of Air Force Ones. I think that's the real lesson here.
Yes, sir, it is. You're exactly right. That's a good way to put it.
Kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
It is because you think, of course, these planes are special planes. They have anti-counter technology as far as flares and I'm sure countermeasures and maybe even escape pods. I don't know. But these are special type planes. Chris, we have all types of threat, not only to our president that are international, but domestic, national. And with all the advanced technology and shoulder fired, which they were trying to, if you remember, they were trying to get some shoulder fired missiles, rockets into the country that they were hoping to maybe shoot his plane down. And these planes can detect this and make countermeasures very, very quickly. Absolutely, man. Well, I think that you're on board with him getting it, aren't you?
Oh, heck yeah.
Put it in the presidential, in his presidential thing, because by then, and this is a Boeing plane, but Chris, 40 years old. Come on.
Yeah. Well, also, we give other countries gifts all the time. I mean, we can give $200 billion of your tax money to Ukraine and no one bats an eye and, says, well, that's corrupt. Okay, fine. And it's not unusual to get gifts from other countries like the Statue of Liberty. It was just a gift from France. They're like, hey, here's this big bronze Lady Liberty here. And they gave it to us. Gifts happened. And this seems like a guy who's like, hey, man, I'm so rich. I have this extra plane laying around. You want to borrow it for a minute until you can get your new Air Force One? Heck yeah, I'm in favor of that. He just did a favor to the taxpayers of America. God forbid we save $500 million on a plane.